Arnaldo Waffman here. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's driving me nuts and how I fixed it, the mistakes I made, so hopefully you don't make the same mistake too. Now, I'm really talking about saltwater, but this particular product will also work for freshwater because I've had this issue with freshwater as well. And that's lids. But most importantly, doing it right the first time. Don't make the mistakes that I made. Let's talk. So when I first started my aquariums, my saltwater, this was my first saltwater tank. And this is the lid that my wife made, and I gotta tell you, it's worked great so far. It's basically the Home Depot, screen kit, and then I bought the, I wanna say it's the Innovative Marine 1/8" screen that I got from Coral Bargain Warehouse. It's worked great. Now for my 190-gallon system, wanted to try the same thing too, so I bought the Red Sea kit. And I gotta be honest with you, that thing was a total piece of crap. Okay, but here's why. This thing just literally bowed and fell apart like the first moment. So that was $100 some odd down the drain. So then I bought like another 30 bucks in supplies, similar to make a screen like this one in 2 parts this time. And then I bought more screens, so probably another, 50 bucks worth. So another $70 worth of screen, about an hour later, and I had something decent. One of them was actually pretty solid. The other one, because I had to have a couple cuts because of the lights, it was just falling apart automatically on day one. It was getting worse and worse and worse. And just as I was about to say that after I'm done with this video review, I'm still happy with this screen because it's been 3 years and it works well. There's an itty bitty gap because I don't have a cable cutout. And one of my longtime firefish that I've had for about 3 years, this one has 3 firefish, and they've all gotten along swimmingly, no pun intended. Freaking guy jumped overnight just out of that itty bitty hole, and I'm devastated. That's one of my original saltwater fish. That freaking sucks. So it looks like this tank's gonna have to be switched. My bedroom one, which has a complete plastic cover, it's the fluval that I converted from freshwater to salt. Yeah, somehow fish managed to jump through a tiny little gap. They just seem to do that. And we've all been through it. So I wanted an acrylic or polycarbonate lid. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't like what I saw. I don't mean necessarily the product, I just didn't like the attitude. The ones that do make lids for bigger tanks, and by bigger, I mean anything bigger than this, because one company's like, oh, we can't do this, oh, we can't do that. So what exactly do you do? The other ones just, because they're so busy, because there's not a lot of choices out there, they just treated you like whatever. Like a cable company, basically. Didn't like it, not what I'm all about, not gonna support those kind of companies, so I'm like, whatever, I might just try to figure out a design on my own, send it to a CNC and go from there. So here I am at Aquashella, and I found the most beautiful lid. It was about this size, and I'm guessing he's showing it off. I'm like, yo, I'm interested in this. It looked like it was acrylic, and we'll talk about that in a second. And he's like, well, I don't make these, it's actually a friend of mine, it's called Reefin' Ain't Easy. Okay, cool. Check them out, their site looks legit, their lids look nice. And I emailed this guy, I told him my frustrations. Man, it was like a night and day difference. I mean, these people answer the phone, or Instagram rather, at all hours of the night. They just seem like a really nice couple. It's a husband and wife team. And I sent them what I'm looking for, and they did a nickel and dime. Hey, how many feeder doors do you want? Do you want your name or logo put on the feeder doors? I'll show you a little up close on that. How many cutouts do you need? How many lights are you gonna have? Okay, cool. Now, full disclosure, I think it's a little bit of just a hair over 500 bucks with shipping. And that's for this lid and the one for my 190 water box system. And honestly, while that may sound a little expensive, that was cheaper. Just the 300 something that the water box would have cost, that was cheaper than buying and making that first lid, then that second crap lid, because I would have had to make a third. I should have just gone polycarbonate to begin with. So difference between polycarbonate and acrylic, well, their acrylic is pretty thick. They even said, we don't know the long terms of acrylic. Most people will tell you acrylic will bow over time, especially with lights hitting it, with the salt water nonstop. Totally get it. But acrylic is completely clear, polycarbonate isn't. Okay, no big deal. I can just modify my, as you can see, my AI, the arm on it's modified so it just doesn't hit the polycarbonate part. I was expecting something maybe slightly foggy, opaque. But they said, we just recommend not going with the acrylic in general. Okay, you're the experts, I'll take your word. So about maybe 30 days it took. There was a little miscommunication, but they more than made up for it. It wasn't really anything on their part or my part, again, just communication. But again, this company seems to be above all customer service. So let's talk about the choices. For my 40-gallon Red Sea, look at this stunning lid. 1/8 inch, not 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch. And they made it where, God forbid, you ever have to replace it, it's not difficult to do. It's got their logo on here, you can see my logo on. But the best part is that even though it's polycarbonate, it's very clear. Now, I haven't had a chance to do a part test, to do a comparison, but even then I just moved it because I'd rather not go through any plastic at all, whether it's polycarbonate or acrylic. But I can tell you is that there is nothing opaque about this polycarbonate. It is nice and clear. It didn't seem to visibly block any of the light, so I was really happy with that. Let's talk about the thickness. This is the door right here, and it is ridiculously thick. This is perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. And when I tell you, once you give them the measurements, because you can't just tell them, oh, it's a water box 190. It seems that all these tanks, since a lot of them are obviously handmade, there's discrepancies. And they know this. So they ask for specific measurements. And once you give that to them, I mean, there is not a damn gap anywhere. So in short, I am absolutely thrilled with Reefing Ain't Easy. I've seen the other lids, and I know for a fact that the lid I bought from them is bar none superior. This is the Cadillac, the El Facto Platinum Standard of aquarium lids. To the point that, again, I was happy with this lid. My wife did an awesome job with this lid, but because there isn't a wire cutout, somehow my freaking firefish that survived even a tank crash due to a UV bulb gone wild, long story on that, it even survived it, but nope, didn't survive that jump. Silly blennies. Anyhow, absolutely worth it. Again, Reefing Ain't Easy. I'll put a link down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, etc., leave them down below. Good night, and God bless.